get a rubber band, 'cause you can't put a rubber band around a million. I be wildin' on an island somewhere just like Gilligan, drilling pool like a Dennis and then I kill her. I I'm the man, girlfriend. I'm the reason why you.
Hey, Shalom, this is Mathath. We're going to tell wild parties, the craziness of the parties they have nowadays, and just the whole vibration. When you check out how parties were back when I was coming up, you know, it was about fun, having fun. You know, you smoked a little herb here and there, but it wasn't everybody. You had just certain people smoking a little herb here and there, drinking a little bit, but it was about fun. You know, everybody come out, have a good time, go home. Now, wild parties consist of a lot of violence, a lot of alcohol and drugs on a higher level, a lot of lasciviousness and whoredom and adultery going on in these parties and everything. Because now the whole vibration has changed because the earth is getting wicked and evil. You know it's changed from say 10 to 20 years. It's changed on a whole new level. Now you got a lot of violence going on, a lot of envious. Murderers going. When you hear about parties, somebody getting shot. When you hear about parties now, some woman, you know, they did some old lewd lascivious act. Now you even hear about men doing the same thing. You got a bunch of these homo thugs. You know?
Get the Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
You know what I'm saying? You know, look at how people are dressing now. Look at how the women are dressing. The women are dressing like whores. The men even dressing like whores, wearing their pants up the cracks of their behinds. You know what I'm saying? Like their butt is for sale or something like that.
Teenagers who wear their pants low like this are thinking twice about doing so along Whiteside Street in Whitehaven.
Oh yeah, it makes me definitely want to put my pants up.
45-year-old Kenneth Bonds is charged with shooting a 17-year-old during an argument last Saturday over the teen's saggy pants.
You want to do something, but you're not going that far.
Neighbor Cowboy Ward does not approve of saggy pants either, but has never considered violence.
A clear-minded person wouldn't go that far to hurt anybody concerning how they dress.
According to this affidavit, Kenneth Bonds confronted two teens outside his house by, quote, yelling at them to pull their pants up. When they refused, he, quote, pulled out a black semi-automatic pistol and fired several shots, striking one of the teens, quote, in the buttock. I'm told the teenager who was shot in the rear end was taken to the med, treated, and released. He's expected to be okay. Bonds was charged with 2 counts of aggravated assault and bonded out of jail Monday afternoon, although neither he nor a woman who came to the door felt like talking. Hey there.
Don't put me on no camera.
Is Mr. Bonds here?
Don't put me on no camera.
When contacted at his home, police say Bonds admitted to them to shooting the teen after a heated argument over saggy pants.
That's straight the spirit of Sodom, homosexuality. You got a lot of craziness that goes on in these wild parties. And see, it all boils down to, you know, in these last days, whether you're going to follow the fruits of the Spirit, which is following Yahweh Shai, or are you going to follow the lust of the flesh, which is, you know, basically of Satan, you know. And when you think about the reveling that goes on these parties, and how how you hear about these crazy parties, it's ridiculous. It's always something that you hear about in a party that they're gonna post up on YouTube. Some person doing some dumb, ridiculous act. You know, some woman or some man doing something crazy at a party, or the violence in a party. You know, the envying and you know, everybody talk about they hating on me in here and this and that, the whole 9 yards. And the parties now, they've just become a cesspool for wickedness. And in these last days, you know, it's our job to warn people, you know, like the second coming of Christ is at hand, and you know, because he's coming, we have to warn our people, let them know that these things are against the Most High. You know, if you're dealing with the lust of the flesh, you know, in these last days, it's not a good thing, because when Christ comes back and you're caught up in that party mind frame, not to say that you have to be partying in general, but if you're in that party mind frame, or in that reveling mind frame when Christ comes back, you know, you're going to definitely be destroyed, because Christ, you know, he's looking at what's going on in this earth, and if people can't see the signs of the time and see that Christ and the Most High, they're judging this earth by all the things that's going on. Look at just what happened over there and I think it's Afghanistan with the floods and everything. Where is that? In Afghanistan? Some over there in the Middle East with the floods, and it's killing people. Then even in the Asian continent, you know, they got mudslides and everything.
Yeah, that's what
you know. So it's a crazy thing. You see what I'm saying? And the people are still caught up in that. They don't want to take time from their reveling in their cesspool of wickedness and watch what's going on in the news and see what's going on in the news. You understand? They're going to be destroyed. You know what I mean? Like, you know what? Actually, I think I threw an article away. I think it was in Afghanistan that they had torrential rains, and it's like, you know, it's killed, you know, thousands and thousands of people, you know, and then over there, it's either in China, one of them Asian countries rather, you know, you got mudslides and everything from rains over there. So, you know, a lot is going on this earth, and if you're in that reveling mind frame to where you just want to, you know, go out and have fun and fornicate and just revel in the bask of wickedness, you know, when Christ comes back, you're not going to know what's coming. You're not going to know what hits you. Why? Because you're too busy in the wrong mind frame. You understand what I'm saying? You're in the wrong mind frame, and it's just like, you know, you know, when the judgment day comes, you know, that lake of fire is going to be prepared for you. You know what I mean? It's going to be ready for you. You know, so you know, and people always say, well, how do y'all know this and that, so and so, blah blah blah. You know, how do we know what goes on in these parties? You hear things, you hear about things. First of all, we were in the mind frame of the world at one point in time, so we have an understanding of what goes on. Not to say that every last brother I went to parties back then, you know, and sometimes some of the parties, yeah, they got violent and they got this and they got that. And after a while, I stopped going to them to parties, period, before I even came into the truth, because it was like, listen, you seen where it was going. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, but now in this generation, it's on a higher level than before. Like, I mean, you know, when especially with these young people out here now, they're ridiculous, man.
Come here, rude boy, boy, can you get it up? Come here, rude boy, is you big enough? Take it, yeah, baby, yeah, take it, yeah.
Remix. What's up? What's up? Young Fresh, what's up? Young Fresh, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Like fresh. Now fly to the right. Fly to the left.
Like they have no morals, they have no understanding. They're void of a voice of reason, you know, because half their parents, or more than half their parents, are drug addicts or were drug addicts, you know, or they're friends of drug addicts. So it's just a whole, you know, like a lot of these babies are the crack babies from the crack epidemic of the 80s and the 90s. You know, that's what a lot of these children out here are now. They're crack babies. So, you know, they've got evil embedded in them from the womb on a high level. So they're you know, they've been dealing with the lust of the flesh of being drug addicted babies, you know, from the jump street. So there's this reveling atmosphere kind of soothes them and it keeps them going, you know. So you know, but when you read in the scriptures, you know, Christ doesn't want us to get caught up into that mind frame, because when he makes his second return, it's either you're going to choose righteousness and live, or you're going to choose wickedness and or die. You know, it's no in between. It's no, I'm going to party today for a little bit and then I'm going to try to get right. No, you're going to get yourself right, or you're going to die. You know, people always say, oh, y'all are so rough, and, you know, why y'all always talk about that? Yeah, because you know why? You've been living a wicked life for so long. You need somebody to tell you that you're going to die if you don't get right.